Good afternoon, everybody. Happy New Year. I just wanted to share some thoughts I had about dental hygiene. My life here in Vegas, it's been very different from my other stops, San Francisco and Seattle. Starting with finding a job, just the process of getting my license took quite a bit of time. It probably took longer to get my license in this state than it did either California or Washington, because the process is so inefficient. Rather, in both Seattle and in California, or Washington, California, if you want to get a license in hygiene, once your license is active online and it's granted, then it's active. That's it. And from that point on, you can legally work. And the state of Nevada is different. So your record will show up online, but it won't show up as active. And that needs to be active in order for you to legally work. And you won't get that in the mail until like 2, 3, 4 weeks or whatever it was. You have to actually fill out a form and pay money to activate your license. And then for some reason they consider x-rays, or they consider anesthetic and nitrous as two completely separate things too. So you have to pay for those and fill out separate papers for those as well, which is odd, but it is what it is. So just finding a job has been quite different. In Seattle, the temp market and Craigslist, those are the two number one ways that I was able to find work. California, we use Craigslist, and again, word of mouth. When I was in California, Facebook wasn't so big. That was 2003, 2004 to 2005. And Facebook was popular, but not necessarily in terms of using it as a social platform to find jobs. A lot of employers nowadays, especially in Las Vegas, are using Facebook to find jobs. I found one job so far, the Dr. Nelson. Was it Dr. Nelson? No, I think actually that was Craigslist. But there's, I found at least 1 or 2 jobs so far on Facebook, including tomorrow. I'm working for Nevada Trails Dental tomorrow, and that was definitely a Facebook find. So I'm appreciative of that. For some reason, the dentists don't really use Craigslist here that much. There is some that use Indeed, but by and large, I'm pretty much just turning my efforts on Facebook to find work. Most of it's temporary work. Some of it is full time. I am registered with 2 other temp agencies here in Vegas. One of them was completely useless. I forgot the name of it, and the other one is with Gale, and that was pretty useless too. So I don't even bother with them. As far as so I'm right now working part-time at Spring Mountain Dental. That's this right here, and right now is my lunch hour. And yeah, I'm working 2 days a week right now, and I'll be working tomorrow. I'm gonna help out at Nevada Trails and see how that goes. I think their hygienist is tending to a family emergency or something. So even temp jobs, I'll take whatever I get at this point. Work is work. It's money is money. So I got bills to pay. So yeah, finding a job. One thing interesting, we don't take I haven't taken many X-rays. I've worked for Dr. Birdswag, Dr. Heidi Savarich, Dr. Tong. Who else? Here at Spring Mountain Dental, I've taken very, very few X-rays. And I don't know if it's a thing here in Vegas, but from my experience, it's definitely a thing. Almost in no offices do I take X-rays. So that's really different from Washington, and that's really different from California. Almost every stop I've had, I took X-rays. Some of the doctors like to pay independent contractor for some reason, especially if you're just there for the day. I don't know why. They think it's quicker and easier just to pay you a check. So I know it is what it is. They wanted me to do that to me here. Dr. B wanted to treat me as an independent contractor if I wasn't going to take the job here. So yeah, that kind of bothers me, but it is what it is. So I'll figure it out at tax time. People here, they have a longer timeline for doing things. You know, my coworker here she wanted to ask me to, you know, if I wanted to do work for her on April, and some dentists are making plans for, you know, August. You know, that's just really, really far down the line. You know, the way whenever I go to a job, especially if it's a working interview, a lot of people treat me like, you know, like I'm gonna, like this is it, you know, this is gonna be a permanent thing. Whereas to Seattle, where in a lot of cases when I went for a working interview, which is like a trial, a lot of times they treated me like a temp, which is fine by me. But I mean, it's just interesting, you know, the mindset that people here, is just different. You know, people just, I guess, you know, I guess people figure, you know, if you're there for a working interview, you're probably going to get the job, and you're probably going to do a good job. So people kind of, I don't know, people figure it's the job, the patients here are a lot easier to work with than they are in Seattle. For some reason, the people in Seattle, I had a really hard time. You know, some people, I mean, in the South End, you know, Pierce County, Federal Way, the patients weren't too bad, but in Seattle, they were really rough. A lot of them didn't appreciate the job I was doing. California, that was never an issue. I think the people are more appreciative. Here, oh my gosh, it's been super easy. It's incredible. It's almost heavenly. You know, I haven't had I've had one rough day of work, and that was it. So I mean, really, I mean, in Seattle, when I had a rough day at work, I mean, I had a rough day at work. I mean, I would leave work and I wouldn't have any energy at all. I just felt like a truck just ran over me. So big differences between here and Washington State and California for sure. It's been a lot easier. It's harder to find the job, but once you get the job, most doctors, from what I can tell, they're paying about $45 an hour. That's about what I'm making. I'm trying to get my way to 46. A lot of doctors are balking at that, so fine, it is what it is. I mean, I'm just kind of going with the flow right now. Today is January 2020, and you know, I expect a lot of job openings to be coming up in the spring and summer. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely keep my eyes peeled for something bigger and better. And as the wages continue to go up, hopefully, you know, maybe something will change. So, but yeah, I mean, the patients have been wonderful, wonderful people. They're great. They're nice. They're not. I mean, are they heavier than other locales? It's pretty heavy. I guess it depends on your office. I mean, if I was working in Summerlin, where the people tend to be wealthier, there's probably, you know, less deposits. But here at Spring Mountain Dental, I'm in the middle of Chinatown. There's a lot of minorities. Yeah, it's a little heavier. It's a little more SRPs. So that's all I have to share for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next vid.